Alright, we are starting now. Alright guys, hopefully you guys can see me live. Let me know if you can't. So, hello there, V-Stag, AJ, Mr. Bees, welcome. Apologize for the slight delay. Daughter had a little bit of an issue with the hamster that we had to take care of. Wasn't getting water out of the water dish, so we had to go ahead and take care of that. So apologize for the slight delay. So thanks guys for the audio and video. Thank you Keith Bordley for coming by. Mr. Bees, welcome. River Life, welcome. Rack, nice seeing you here. So let's go ahead here, let a couple other people join, and we'll get started with the show here in just a moment. So anyone do anything exciting this weekend? Find any new fish? Get anything exciting? V-Stag is everywhere. Yes, he is. For sure. Let me see. I'm going to try something real quick. I want to change my display. Nope, that did not work. So, Jeffrey Myers, I got a question for you. When are you going to be going back to Turbofish? Or is Turbofish a thing of the past? Alright, there we go. Alright. So, looks like we've got about 3 folks here. Apologize for, like I said, being a little bit late. So, let me go ahead and share it out again on Facebook real quick. And then we'll go from there. So is Susan live right now too? I was just looking at that. I thought she was live earlier. Alright, let me go here. Alright, so let's go ahead. Alright, let's go ahead here and just got to get started. So in April, Mike, I sent out a resume as Turbofish. A couple employers turned me down because of it. Oh, in April, okay. So you're going to go back in April, okay. That said, which is hilarious, YouTube gave me a timeout on name changing. Oh, okay. Alright, so Keith got 12 new Platinum Angels and ordered 6 Platinum Blues. Okay, outstanding. So, AJ, avoid the Vibrobite, still tint red, orange, yellow on you. That with due to the redness of the food. Probably the astaxanthin. I guess that has some astaxanthin in it. I could go downstairs and grab mine. Fish Tropics here. How's it going? So, all right. So, did anyone go to any local auctions or fish club swaps this weekend as well? I have not ever bred lamp-eyed killifish. I've never actually owned killifish at all. I don't think, if I can remember. So, definitely not owned the lamp-eyed killies. So, Yep. So AJ went from platinum to almost yellow tinted, still have pearl scales. Okay. Yeah. So if you don't want red angelfish, don't feed them red food. So, all right. So I'm gonna do the quick advertisement real quick. So MBI workshop is going to be July 26th through 28th. That's going to be at the Cranbrook Institute of Science in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. So if you guys are in the area, it's a good show to go to. A lot of fun, a lot of things to see. A lot of things to see. They had the first, the breeders of the first yellow tangs as well as the blue tangs. So that's something definitely to check out. Jeffrey Myers, the Lab by Achilles, use a spawning mop, pick the eggs, check in the morning, fairly easy. If I were to guess on that, that's what I would think. Check out Jeremy's videos from Sergeant Tank. If you guys had a chance to check out Rob's video from Jeremy's Fish Room, so it's very cool. Jeremy's got a pretty cool setup. I got to visit it a couple weeks ago. Didn't video it, but pretty good stuff. So what we're going to talk about today is going to be fish auctions and joining a fish club. So first of all, I would tell any of you, and if you watch it on the replay, join a local fish club, whether you're saltwater, freshwater, both. Join the fish clubs because you get a lot of cool things out of it. So you get to hear a lot of very interesting presentations. Daryl's here. Hey, Daryl, how's it going? So you get to hear a lot of good presentations from speakers. There was a speaker last week when I went to the fish club who was a cichlid expert. You guys may have know him as Cunningham Cichlids. He's around on YouTube, so check out his channel. But he's local around here, so he does cichlid breeding. He's bred a dozen different cichlids. Pam's here. Hey, Pam, how's it going? Shoot, so the video might cop out on us. So I forgot to loop the video, so let me go back to this scene. So, all right. So basically, he talked a lot about the cichlids. He was doing a lot of cichlid breeding. One thing I found interesting is he did bring up the Pundamilia nairi, which I have, and I know AJ has as well, because some of his fish are in my videos. So one thing he said is you have to make sure to have a collection point. He kind of called out some people on the auctions that were like just selling them without collection points. So I unfortunately bought some without collection points. So we're just going to have to see what they are and see if we can figure it out. But that is what it is at this point. I do enjoy the fish. So if I ever did sell any of those at an auction, I would obviously label them, with no collection points so people knew. But all in all, I really did get a lot out of listening to that talk. So that's one of the things, I brought up the MBI earlier, being involved with that. Even when I wasn't really breeding the saltwater fish, I did learn quite a bit. Just about the reproductive habits, how the fish interact in the wild. You get to interact with a lot of people you wouldn't meet otherwise. So, that's priceless. So, in my opinion, go out, meet the people in your local fish club, get to know some of the local fish people, kind of firmed up a relationship with someone who owns one of the local shops out here. So, that's always good too. So let's talk a little bit about the auction. So there's going to be a video coming out Sunday on what I actually picked up at the auction. So I'm not going to divulge that at this point, but I will talk about kind of how it went down, some of the things that happened, some pretty interesting stuff. So what I did take to the auction to sell, without the collection point, in my opinion, I'm not buying the Pundamilia. Why? Because Imperial Tropicals has bred their Rudy with the Python Island to get a deep red male. Okay, yep, that's yeah. So Might have started to color up quite a bit. So, AJ, maybe I'll ping you with a picture of the male and we can see where it came from. This is not a deep red. It's more of a, it's kind of 50-50, kind of a green on top, red on the bottom. So, I'll grab a picture of it at some point and send it over to you. We were talking about that at one point, about trying to figure out what they were. So, let's see what else we got. So, yeah, so what I brought to the auction, I brought 2 bags of 6, what were they? Purple ACI. And then, let me see, I brought 6 bags of guppy grass. And then I bought 2 trios of the super red Dumbo guppies that I got from King Lee at Aquashella. So, yeah, it's pretty, so, you know, I only brought about 8 bags. Learned quite a bit, because I was late, because I was supposed to go to my daughter's basketball game. Didn't get out of the house on time, so I didn't make that. So what I tried to do is I bagged the bags the night before, and then basically I kind of refilled the bags and rebagged them again in the morning, which I won't do next time. I'll just bag them once, put them in the tanks to make sure that they stay warm, and then put them in the cooler in the morning. So, yeah, yeah, okay, yep, cool, cool, AJ. So we'll look into that for sure. I think yours was the blue, right, or yours the red? Can't remember. I thought yours were the blue Dumbos, but I can't remember anymore. Yeah, so kind of interesting. So it was an interesting auction. Things that, oh, reds, okay, cool, yeah, we'll have to do that. So kind of an interesting auction because there was a lot of things that I thought would sell for more didn't, and things that I thought would sell for less sold for more than I thought. So definitely not going to complain. It was my first time ever really selling anything. So, you know, I followed Jeremy's instructions. So if you check out Sergeant Tanks and how he bags fish, I would follow that instruction because it worked out perfectly. Some of the stuff that I had went towards the end of the auction, which went from about 10:30, and I was there until about 6:20 or so, and they were still going, and I kind of had enough at that point. I know one of my bags went probably about 5 o'clock, and fish were doing great. So I was kind of checking on my bags throughout just to make sure I was doing it right, make sure everything was good. But yeah, so the ACI sold for about, I think they were about 13 bucks a piece for the 6 of them, which was not bad, considering they're pretty common, but I think they were the only ones there. I didn't see any other ACIs there. The other one that surprised me were the King Lee guppies did not sell for as much as I thought. So those went for about the same as the ACI did. They went for about 13 bucks. So it seems to be like the market here, at least for that auction, was a quantity over. I don't know if I'm not gonna say they were bad quality, if they weren't, but it seems to be like the more that you had in the bag, the better price you got. So that was something that was interesting to observe. And then funniest thing is that depending on the time of day and when they went, the guppy grass went from anywhere from like $7 to $16, which was kind of funny. I was kind of shocked. I figured I'd get a couple bucks out of each bag, which was fine. I just wanted to clear it out of my fish room, to be honest with you. It's kind of become overgrown in a lot of spots, so I kind of wanted to clear some out. So that turned out well. So so I will show you guys Sunday what I picked up. If you watched Bob's stream yesterday, I didn't mention one of the things that I picked up. It's a new species of the fish room. I think I am going to have to move them though. I put them in with my Iliodon furcidans, which might be a mistake because the furcidans are kind of giving them a hard time. So problem is I need a 4-foot tank for them. So we're just going to have to deal. So Um, Going back to the fish clubs for a minute, I guess some of the cool things that I've gotten to see from being involved in fish clubs, like I'd spoken about the MBI, that was really cool to see. Meet the guy who was the first person to breed the blue tangs for saltwater, the first person to breed the yellow tangs for freshwater. So that was really neat. Um, Way back in the day, there's a guy. His name is Dr. Richard Pyle, and he's an ichthyologist that tests a lot of the diving rebreathers. If you look up coelacanths on YouTube, you can find a video he did for like National Geographic, and they were using like nitrogen and helium rebreathers. They were going down probably 200-300 feet at least, if not further. So that's pretty interesting, and I think he's the one who collected the. And I've drawn a blank on the name of the angelfish now. Oh, the Peppermint angelfish that's at the Waikiki Aquarium, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he did. That fish is it's about $25,000 per fish. Reason it is, it's the effort it takes to actually catch it. So you have to get somebody with a rebreather, and then they need that specialized equipment. It's kind of a dangerous occupation, especially if you go up too fast from that depth. When you bring the fish up, you actually have to needle the fish, and it's a really slow process to get the fish's swim bladder equalized to the to the atmosphere and the pressures as you go further up. So it's a really slow, methodical process. It's not like dive, catch it, pull it out, bring it back. So that's he was really cool to meet. I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, saltwater and freshwater, just for being involved in aquarium clubs and YouTube and everything else. So for sure, go to your local aquarium club. All of them got great speakers. I was kind of poking around today with the Michigan clubs a little bit, and I mean Michigan has, there's like 4 clubs that are just freshwater. I mean there's 2 mainstream freshwater clubs. There's a cichlid club, and there is a killifish club as well that we're on there. And I think there's a guppy club even, or a live bear club too, but I've not heard much about them. So they all kind of come to the club meeting, and they all kind of speak and have kind of announced their event. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. I got some cool stuff too from the club meeting. So I did pick up some green dragon plecos, which I've not seen since I put them in the tank. And then did pick up some bulbitis and some other plants. So that was pretty. What else did I pick? Oh, I think I picked up a crypt as well, crypt wendeti. So that was kind of how the auction went. Plant-wise, plants went for quite a bit too, actually. Vallisneria was going for $15-16 a piece. So it was really kind of a surprise, because like bidding on plants, like I kind of used the aquarium co-op. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting. I did get the bulbitis at the club meeting. It's sitting right behind me. It is yep, right over there. So yeah, so when I get it going, I'll get you guys a piece. AJ, if you're ever around, or if I'm around you, I'll bring some with me. So yeah, so it was kind of an interesting. Thing. The bulbitis I got for like $6 or something like that. In 2 days before, I was listening to Joel talk about how pretty hard to find. You can't buy it anywhere. I was like, oh, $6. Okay, I'll take some. So, and it's one of the ones I wanted, because I kind of want the big bushy plant to go in a lot of my live bear tanks. I kind of want to get guppy grass somewhat out of my fish room, because it gets a little bit out of control. I mean, I've got it by like the handfuls in here, and it's kind of become an epidemic in a way. But it is good for like breeding guppies and stuff. So I'm kind of have a love-hate relationship with it, because I have a ton of guppies. Me too. Want something different than the usual crap. Yep, for sure. So All right. So, do you have anything else from the auction itself? Yeah, plants. One thing that was kind of interesting. There's been a picture floating around Facebook, and I should have downloaded it before it came on, but I just ran out of time, especially with the hamster issue. Was got the someone had like literally someone had like a trash bag full of guppies, and they went for like 70-80 bucks, and they were all males too, which is something I'm interested in. There was like 240 males, and they were of different types, but somebody counted them all out and bagged them up. So that's not how I would buy them. I want females. I want to reproduce and breed them, and I don't want to I want to get the right female with the right male, that sort of thing. I will drop a little bit of a hint. I did find some Gadiads that were at the auction as well. So there's some new Gadiads in here too. I am thinking about actually moving the Gadiads maybe into the house, just because I'm afraid it's going to get too hot in here in the summertime. The summertime it did get pretty warm in here last year. So I do have some AC, but I don't want to. I want to almost make a cold room down in my basement for the Gadiads. I've got quite a few now. So I've got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 species of Gadiads. And then I've got, and I picked up another Limia species too, which I'd never heard of before, but someone had them there. So pretty excited about that. And I don't remember. I'd say it was like the Limia. I'll tell you what that one is. That was a Limia, like sulfuri or something like. Let me pull the name out. Scissors. Yeah, I've met Andy. Yeah, no, I've met Andy a couple times. AJ. I talked to him for a little bit at Aquashella, and then I've talked to him at the meetup with Jeremy at that fish store. Let me find the name of what that is. Hold on 1 second. I keep these in my phone now, basically. So let me find out what the name is of this thing. It is a Limia. Limia sulfurophylla. So I've never heard of that fish. So looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So I got a male and 2 females. And I'm going to run out of water because we're about halfway through. So let me see. Does anyone else have any questions or want to tell any stories about their own fish club experiences? I know I've kind of rambled on here for about half an hour. So if you guys have any general questions, we can go ahead and talk about that. One thing too is the clown. I do have I think some clownfish are going to hatch tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow. I did set up another tank for the Ocellaris. I don't think the tomatoes worked out too well, just because I only had like one. I think they got fungused up. But the tomatoes did lay again, and they have a pretty good clutch this time. It's a pretty solid. It's about yay big around or so of a clutch of eggs. So hopefully those get going pretty soon. I kind of want to get the tomatoes done because I actually want to move that pair of fish and kind of like rebuild that little section of the fish room. I think I could build it a lot more efficiently with 2 tanks. V-Stag. I joined my first fish club to get Gary Lang's autograph at Chicago AE 2017. Okay. That's pretty cool. I've never met him. I've met a lot of the saltwater names, but like I said, I think for those of you who follow me pretty regularly, know that I'm I started out more of as a saltwater guy. So I've met, I think I've met pretty much everybody. Um, I've either met them or have at least crossed paths with them. So, which is, but I've not met Gary Lang. Freshwater guys. Yeah, Gary Lang, just from his video, seems like a pretty good dude. Definitely knows his stuff. So, you know, I heard he shows up at the live bear conventions too. So I kind of, I haven't talked to the wife about that yet. I want to go to the live bear convention this year again. That was a lot of fun. It's a good thing. Josh is asking if the sea bay's been laying for you yet. No. If they do, I don't know if I'll find them because those are in more of a community tank. I could pull them out and move them up here. Those are definitely big enough to, as well as the blue stripes I've got down in the 245. Those could as well. So, but yeah, the one I really want to get to lay too is the Spot Cinctus. Those are definitely of size as well, but those have not done anything. So yeah, I think I saw Victor at AE this year. I don't remember if I met Victor or not. I think I did see V-Stag there. Yeah, hopefully I get some eggs soon. Yep. Mr. Beast, temp and weather here. The temp and weather as of today in Metro Detroit. Right now it is 16 degrees. High today was 30. Tomorrow it is going to be 36 with some snow. But Sunday it's going to hit 44. So, I think Mr. Beats, I think you're in Canada. So I can't convert that to Celsius. I know it's minus something. But yeah, so we're kind of getting towards the end of February, so I'm not going to claim that the fish barns made it through the winter yet. So snow here in 3 days then. Yeah, so you're in New Brunswick, right? So I know Joey's in Nova Scotia, you're in New Brunswick. And I've actually been to Gander, Newfoundland, at least to the airport. I was thinking of that yesterday when I was watching that video because back in the day I took a flight to England, and this was back in the 90s. And the plane that I took, you know, I was in college, so I took like the budget flight, and the plane didn't have enough gas to make it all the way across from Detroit all the way across to London. And so it stopped, I had to make a stop off in Gander, Newfoundland for fuel. So that was kind of an interesting I'm just south of Mike, outside of Chicago. AJ, aren't you west? Yeah, because normally, like, Chicago, we get Chicago's usually like 18 to 24 hours later, depending on the system, and then we normally get, and then heads east from there. But yeah, so I actually landed Fishy Bend to Newfoundland. Didn't go very far in Newfoundland. So, yep, 23 miles west of the city. Yeah, Chicago's a different place for sure. Hoffman Estates, yep. That's where the store was too, if I remember correctly. I have a supplier that's out there somewhere. I think she's in Roselle. That's at least where the phone number comes from. So she's in Roselle. I've been kind of thinking about when I go out to Aquashella in Chicago, about maybe visiting some of the steel mills on my way. Derek's here. Hey, how's it going, man? It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Derek hung out with me at the auction for a while. So there was some stuff going for some crazy money that was kind of common. Like I was talking about earlier. One of the things too was angelfish were going for a lot too. I was kind of joking with somebody that I should just go to the local Petco and buy some angelfish and put them in a bag and take them to the auction and make my money back. They were like, it was like, yeah, I mean, it was it would be like a group of them that go for like $60, which you could buy them from the fish store. I mean, there weren't any like special breeder that I could tell. And then what was the other one? There was one that was a breeding pair of something that went. And Derek, if you remember, I think the one that went for, there was something that went for $185. And it was either a big bag of guppies, or it was a it was either that or a pair of angelfish. I can't remember. 125 for a pair of koi angels. Yep. There was one too that was kind of funny. I forgot about that until now. There was one that basically they were some Lamprologus calvus. They were in a shell, so someone actually just couldn't catch them. So they left them in the shells, and like they were like big kind of clam shells, and so no one could see the fish, but they were bidding on them, which I found to be kind of funny. So Fish Tropic is auction ready this year, for sure. I kept it kind of low key this year, this time. I bought a few things for sure, but the last time I went pretty hog wild. But this time I kind of kept it low key. But there were some folks that spent some money. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting selling the fish too. That's something I've never done before, and I have a newfound respect for people in the industry. Bag the fish and get everything going. So. Yeah, so got a small turnout tonight, so probably because I was late. So apologize for you guys who waited around. Thank you. I didn't come out here a couple minutes late. So, you guys have any other questions? Anything? Did you guys? Any of you guys have any auctions coming up or selling any of your fish or anything like that? So around here, just so you guys know, the auction season's kind of the winter time. So going into the fall and winter, summertime here, the fish hobby kind of dies out. Just because it's warm. People want to go outside, do other things, go fishing. I want to do some more fishing this year for sure. Last year was kind of since I started fishing again, kind of a record low. And this winter was as well. I didn't even get out on the ice this year at all. So, and that season's pretty much going to be wrapping up here in the next week or so, I think. There's temperatures showing 44 and rain on Sunday. That gets, that starts getting dicey, and I don't like swimming in 30-degree water. So, there's actually somebody off topic here for a minute was pulling out. They drove their truck out onto Lake St. Clair, which is not too far from here, and got it buried in the got it stuck in the ice, and it was pretty nasty pulling it out. So AJ is going to the IFGA meetup in April. Looks like it'll be a cool show. He's got some Dumbo ear red mosaic guppies. I saw the clown knife, and and he got 5 bettas. Okay. I'm thinking about starting a saltwater tank, 29 BioCube. That's not a bad size. Keith, what are you looking to put into it? If you don't mind me asking, you looking to do is that, I would get a skimmer, and do you have I know it has the part in the back on the BioCube, but do you have any sort of sump or anything there's, I know they make little skimmers that go inside the back of the sump. I've not played around much with BioCubes. I have, but it's been a different sort of goal. I've really not tanks, Josh. um, yeah. So. Yeah. So. Yeah. Josh, kind of tongue in cheek, but don't buy tanks. So if you guys listen to the Aquarium Co-op live streams, he talks about the goldfish police and the betta police and the other fish police. Well, saltwater has them too. They're called the tank police. And so if you don't have a tang in anything that's less than a 6-foot tank, don't put them and don't post it on the internet, because you will draw the fury of everyone. Now, that being said, I do have a hippo tang and a 4-foot tank. I should move him, but he's cool in there and not hurting anything, so I'm just going to let it be. Looking at them, but I don't know as of yet. Yeah, Josh, like I said, I've not played a lot with BioCubes. I like the bigger tanks for saltwater in general. Don't get the BioCube brand skimmer. Yeah, so Josh, Keith, listen, Josh knows quite a bit about it too. The fish police, yep, they're out there, V-Stag, for sure, both saltwater and freshwater. Yeah, I've not played with that kind of skimmer. I've run bigger systems, so I kind of still subscribe to the old school, bigger is better, especially with saltwater, because that way you don't have any, you don't really have any sort of, you have a lot of more room for error. So, like, if I do something to my 245-gallon tank, just kind of, and like, say if I make a mistake somehow, I overdose something or underdose something, and you have a lot more room for error because you have a larger water volume. That being said, obviously, depending on your situation, I wouldn't go out and buy a 245-gallon tank, but something I think that's a good saltwater tank to start with. It's something like a 75 or a 90, and then it gives you a lot more options for fish too. You can get into a lot more different things. I know that does kind of drive the cost up, but I do kind of like the 90-gallon reef tank. Oh, it's got the 10K ball. Yeah. Can you swap? What kind of is it an LED, Keith? I think they're LED now. I think back in the day when I had one, they were either like power compact or they weren't T5. I don't remember what mine had. Like maybe like fluorescence even. I was wondering if you could change the bulbs out. You could always ditch the cover. I think I actually broke my lid on mine, and so I actually just put my own lights on it. Yeah, okay, compact fluorescence. Yeah, okay. I think mine had the old school lights on it. I could be the one guy at Macna that bids on all the 10K comp. So you could probably, Keith, if you wanted to do that tank freshwater, you could probably find the same bulbs and just swap them out for like a 6 or 7K bulb. So, but if you want to keep it saltwater, I would do that. But I would look into the filtration. That's the one thing I've never liked about the BioCubes is that little area in the back. I find it to be hard to service. Actually, depending on where you put it, it's also deep, and you gotta get your hand back in there, and if you want to clean it out, that's and then if the pump dies, you gotta pull. You gotta reach all the way down there. Pull. I found it inconvenient to work on. But that being said, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just not my favorite tank. Derek wants to come out and hang out. AJ, April would be cool. Yeah, That was a lot of fun that day. When we went over to Pleco Paradise and checked out a whole bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, I want to try to figure out what I'm doing at least for the first half of the year. I do want to. HC Aqua's here. Hey, how's it going? So we're trying to go to Seattle too. I want to see the AGA. And I mean, me being straight up honest, I kind of want to go to AGA just because it's home of Aquarium Co-op, and Joel will be there, and kind of that thing. I was kind of bummed. 5 months into it, the AGA stuff was all sold out and everything. So that was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. HC just just saw you joined. We were talking a little bit about Fish Club auctions. We're just going to talk a little bit. We were talking about some of the stuff that sold, stuff that kind of went for higher than we thought. We talked a little bit about what I brought. Was kind of surprised at some of it. So I thought some of it would go for more, some of it would go for less, and they ended up going for kind of what I different than what I thought. But that is I think that's how the auctions go. So I learned a little bit about the market. It seems to be like if you're doing like guppies, people kind of like the quantity. So, I had like a trio of Twin Cities guppies, and I mean, I guess the one thing is the guy didn't read that they were from there when he put them up. Last time there were some guppy train ones, and someone read it was guppy train. The guy didn't read it this time, so maybe that was part of it. I don't know. I think Michigan in general. I think a lot of the I'm gonna I gotta be careful with this one. Is maybe and I know the saltwater seems this way too. Is a lot of people are looking for stuff on the cheap. So yeah. So okay, Keith. So Josh just wrote in here for that 29 BioCube, the Sarah Marin PS 130 protein skimmers fits the first back chamber and works really well. Yeah, see, this is one of the beauty. Josh is actually in my local saltwater club, so he, yeah. So like you kind of fund it. You kind of get the group knowledge, right? And you learn a lot from everyone in the club. You get to see their fish room. You get to see their stuff. Like I didn't know. Like I said, the BioCubes aren't really my thing. So I'm glad that Josh was able to chime in here and help you out. So, yeah, I would check into this. Sarah makes good products, anyways. I do use quite a bit of their food, so I do enjoy that. I am working on a video that'll come out later, probably later this month, towards the end of February, beginning of March. Doing kind of looking at the ONIP tabs. So. Looking for, I've been playing around with those. They make a saltwater ONIP tab as well, which I found poking around online. So I've been playing around with that as well. So yeah, that's the thing, Derek, is like everyone wants it on the low for sure. So I think that's kind of the market here. Is I think people don't care if it's rare. Like, I mean, I picked up one of the Goodyear species I picked up for $5. And so, that's one of the things that's kind of an interesting dynamic with Michigan and the hobby. Corals were the same way. Everyone was kind of hunting around looking for the $5 coral. That's what kind of in the end, we used to do a, back before, the Great Recession, we used to do a saltwater conference. That was not the MBI. The MBI started 2009, but even before that, like for the 14 years before that, the club had done just a straight up saltwater show with speakers. People like Sanjay Joshi, Kevin Cohen, who's the director of Live Aquaria, came and spoke one year. John Copolino spoke about angelfish. So we used to have those people come and speak, and we'd have a frag swap as well, and have vendors like kind of like like an ALA, or I mean it was not as big as like an aquatic experience. It was kind of a smaller show, but we did that for 14 years. But the market for people going to look at speakers kind of just dried up. and so it kind of became not a financially feasible thing to have, fly, pay 4 speakers, pay the hotel rooms, have all of this set up, and then everyone just wants to go and buy the cheap corals and could care less about the speakers. You have like 5 people go to the speakers, and everyone hangs out in the vendor hall trying to hunt for deals on coral. So it was kind of sad, in my opinion. And I know that maybe that's controversial, but people got kind of sad about. That kind of made me sad. I mean, people. I like to go and listen to the speakers. Like to go and learn. Like I'd go to Macna's and I would sit all day in the speakers. I'd find various speakers to go to, and sit through the talks all day. So I do kind of miss that conference, but I think it's. I just think where it's gone, it's kind of gone by the wayside. So that being said, AJ brought up quite a few things. Anyone else going to any shows? I will be going to Aquashella in Dallas. That's going to be March 30th and 31st. So I'll be around there for sure. Looking forward to that. Should be a good time. And then also going to, obviously we talked about the MBI, so I'll flash that back up for you guys again. Going to the Marine Breeding Initiative workshop. This is the 10-year anniversary. It's going to be July 26th through 28th at the Cranbrook Institute of Science. So that should be a lot of fun. Look, sorry, my wife just sent me a text message about the hamsters, so I hope it's didn't escape or anything. So, yeah, so it's definitely going to be a good time. So we've been going now for about 50 minutes or so. So 47 minutes. Do you guys have any questions? So we'll wrap it up here in about 5 minutes or so. So you guys have any last minute questions? I know some people got some new fish. I think Keith had gotten some new fish. I've got some new fish you guys will see on Sunday. Video on Thursday is going to be about culturing rotifers for clownfish. So I did move some clownfish tonight for those of you that joined late. I did move some clownfish eggs into a rearing container. So hopefully those will hatch out tonight once the lights go off. Very important. How the hamster? Hold on a second. Let me check. Oh. Okay. So. All right. So the hamster is fine. I think it got moved out of my daughter's room because I think it's making too much noise. So the cat's sitting at the door waiting to get the hamster. So my wife moved it to a different part of the house. So let me see if I can get a good picture. See if I get the picture up and show you. Yeah, so she's running in the wheel. So I don't know how well you can see that. Let me really this. So they up there. So the hamster's behind the door. The cat is keeping watch on the door. Keith, you're welcome. So yeah, definitely appreciate Josh helping you out with that. Yeah, let us know how that turns out. So get that all set. So it's about 9:55 here. We'll go for another minute or two, and then I'll go ahead and shut it down. One thing, I ran out of water, so the water glass is empty. So I ran out at about 9:30 or so. So if you guys don't have any last questions, I think I'm going to shut it down for the night. So thank you guys again for coming out. I do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. So thank you guys all again for coming. And we will catch you again next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. So with that, I will talk to you guys later.